her. You know, how do you do it? How do you still, you know, have that longevity in doing your skills, and your popularity is just right on?
Can we just stop this now?
How do you do
is great.
it?
I can't respond to that. I mean,
You can't.
No, it's smoke mirrors and I think mass hypnosis.
We are so lucky to have this kind of life, or, you know, doing something that we enjoy so much.
I'm only 22 years old. I'm not sure if I'm ready for real life, but it's coming up soon.
Because skating is a very alienating sport. It's a very isolated sport. You basically spend years and years and years in a rink doing something for yourself, and never really having any touch with the outside world.
I like skate for my heart, for my people, for my coach, but money is not interesting for me.
Peggy Fleming's Ice Stories. And now, your host, 1968 Olympic gold medal champion, Peggy Fleming.
Hello and welcome to Ice Stories, where for the next hour we'll take you inside one of America's most celebrated sports. Figure skating has continued to surge in popularity in recent years. The Tonya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan story just a year ago had a significant impact on our awareness of the sport and its compelling personalities. And there are few signs that the growth and exposure enjoyed by this exciting sport will let up. As such, there are many great ice stories surfacing in today's electrifying skating world. And this spectacular facility and others like it is part of the reason. We're here in Lake Arrowhead, California at the famous Ice Castle International Training Center, tucked away in the San Bernardino Mountains. This 12-acre village is the training home of skaters representing 20 different countries around the world, including 14-year-old Michelle Kwan, one of the skating world's newest ice stories. Here is where Michelle Kwan pursues her dreams, and we'll talk to Michelle later on to see how this young star is taking the steps toward a promising future. What we're seeing today is a figure skating revolution, much different than the skating world I knew when I first took to the ice as a national competitor. From state-of-the-art training to the flamboyant personalities so common today, skating is spiraling to unimaginable heights.
Once so predictable, figure skating is anything but in the 90s. Nancy and Tonya aside, it seems the unexpected is now the rule. But the most prolific practitioners of life on the edge are found in the men's division. They are the new breed, extraordinary athletes and bold performers in one, in-your-face competitors who prefer risking it all to playing it safe. And they want the audience with them every fast-paced step of the way, holding its breath each time they soar above the ice, wound up like springs. Who are these young guns? The recognized leaders of skating's own Brat Pack are Elvis Stojko of Canada, world champion in 1994, and Philippe Candeloro of France, his rival and friend. And from the United States, a deep pool of budding talent. Michael Jack, Scott Davis, Todd Eldridge, and Aaron Nielsen. The 1998 Winter Olympics are still 3 years away, but Stojko and company already have that prize in their sights. And there is little mystery about what it will take to claim a spot on the medal stand with these guys around. Dynamic programs, new wave choreography, and of course, power and poise in flight. If you're searching for the stars in men's skating, look toward the sky, high above the boards. That's where you'll find them.
Well, as you've seen already, figure skating is ruled today by brash young pioneers. And for the next hour, you'll meet some of your favorites as they share with us their most treasured ice stories and sides of their personality that you've probably never seen before. So don't go away. This is one skating program you won't want to miss.
Peggy Fleming's Ice Stories is presented by Molly McButter. Real butter taste, fat-free, and only 5 calories. Your local True Value. Help is just around the corner. ultra slim fast. Give us a week, we'll take off the weight. And by Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's.
Without question, one of the hottest stories in figure skating is the Canadian component of the new breed, the 1994 Olympic silver medalist, Elvis Stojko. We caught up with Elvis recently and found out that skating is not his only passion.
How has your black belt in karate translated over to your figure skating? How has that discipline helped you in skating?
Overall, as a sport, it really transcends to just the sensitivity of the body and knowing where your body is in space. And it's, I guess, coordination. And that coordination transcends onto the ice. And the two go really well together. The lines and all the, I guess, the power, movement, relaxation until you explode on a jump or a punch, that relates to each other almost identical. And a lot of the jumps I can relate to the kicks and the punches and a lot of the things that we do.
So Elvis, tell us this story about how you broke your father's ribs when you were 12 years old.
Oh boy, that's funny that story came up. I was about 12 or 13 years old, and when any kid that's doing martial arts comes home and wants to show dad what he can do and what he's learned in class, and actually it wasn't exactly my fault. He kind of stepped into it while I was doing a hook kick, and I got him in the ribs, and he had a, I think it was a slight fracture, but he was okay. He's a tough guy.
You're really a pioneer of modern figure skating style. Why do you think you've been able to influence the judges and the institution of this sport when other people haven't been able to do this?
That's a good question. Well, for me anyways, the way I perceive skating is the way I guess Bruce Lee perceived martial arts. It's a form of self-expression, and sport is a way of expressing yourself. And I mean, I'm expressing myself honestly on the ice, and it's something that's free, that's pure, that's not pasted on. I started skating because I love to skate, I love to jump, I love music, I love skating to music. No matter how hard it's been or how hard it will be, I'll always stick to my road and the way that I see skating for me.
If you had to name one skater as your all-time idol in the male singles, who would that be?
Brian Orser.
Really? Why?
The way he went with his skating was not quite the norm. I watched him train for a few years, and I got a lot of my training skills from him, and he taught me a lot about skating. And it was just a really great guy and somebody that I really look up to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's a wonderful skater and such a nice person when he's off the ice. What do you find inspiring about Kurt Browning as a predecessor?
Kurt Browning has the character and the spark that he always, I remember competing against him, we always, on practice, were working together. And even at the times where it was really tight and really tough, there's always the joking part of it that kind of broke the ice between things.
You seem to be also good friends with Philippe Candelero, and you two have spent a lot of time together. You've been touring with him. And I know maybe I'm just thinking maybe you guys seem like you would be trouble together. Do you have any, I just have this sense, do you have any stories that maybe you could share with us?
Oh boy, trouble.
Safe ones.
Well, actually, Philippe seems to be the rebel type, and some people take me as the rebel type. And I guess through our skating, where we really follow our own way, our own pathway to where we want to go. We try not to fit in anyone else's puzzle. He's a great competitor, and I find that he's someone that goes out there and really challenges me to push my limits, and I really like that. And we had a great time on the Elvis tour in Canada. He enjoyed it so much. I think it was his first time in Canada. People see him, and we did, I worked in with his Rocky number that he does. He comes down through the stands and stuff.
That's
so then
great.
I came down the other side, and then we both came together, and we're going to challenge each other. And then we end up skating together and being friends. And then I sort of present Philippe to Canada as his sort of intro. And it's been really cool. And I'm looking forward to the years to come to compete against him, because he really brings out a lot of that competitive spirit in me.
Elvis Stojko is an incredible talent. When we talked to Elvis, he also had a lot to say about the status of professional and amateur skaters. In fact, everyone in skating has a lot to say about this controversial issue. It used to be that after a skater ended his or her competitive career, they moved on to professional skating and performed for money in ice shows and other events. But now, since fans have so embraced the sport, with record ratings on television and incredible box office numbers at the live ice shows, skating is facing a real boom in popularity. But as a result, it's also facing a real identity crisis. Amateurs are being allowed to compete and earn money in some cases, and at other times they're not, causing the lines between the pros and the amateurs to blur.
It's more about control than money, really. Amateurs are not prohibited from earning money as long as they earn it in competitions approved by the International Skating Union. How does the ISU decide which events merit an amateur's participation? This is the gray area. The rules keep changing, but for now, most amateurs are glad they can earn money even before crossing over to join the pros.
I find that with all the money situation and the way things are going, I like the trust fund. And I find that for myself, it really enables me to learn a lot about my life, the way I should handle financially. It gives me a bit of time not to get everything at once and then try to figure it out while it's there, but learn step by step, so that the day that you become the professional, ineligible skater or eligible skater going one from the other, that you know what's going to happen and you can handle the situation.
The line began to blur for pros and amateurs in late 1992 when a Pro-Am competition was approved by the ISU. For the first time, all the skaters were eligible to win prize money. The ISU took an even bigger leap in 1993. It gave pro skaters a one-shot chance to restore their eligibility and qualify for the games. All of their past sins were forgotten. The door was not just opened, it was beaten down. Brian Boitano came back, so did Katarina Witt, and Russian pairs champions Gordieva and Grinkov, and the British ice dance legends Torvill and Dean. They put everything aside to prepare for the 1994 Olympics in Norway. Then, almost overnight, they went right back to the pro world, back to the six-figure paydays, which after the excitement of 1994 were to be more prevalent than ever before.
It's nice to see that it's finally getting some more attention, and hopefully looked upon as a bit more credible than what people used to think professional figure skating was.
It's just a weird time right now with eligibility and professional competitions, and CBS needing a lot of product, and skating being a safe product and an enjoyable one. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes and how it develops, and how much the ISU, the International Skating Union, plays a part in that.
And as the climate changes in figure skating for the returned pros, they are joined by the new faces, Oksana Baiul and Nancy Kerrigan. The ISU even created another window of opportunity for these new pros. It decreed that any of the newly turned pros would have until April 1st, 1995 to make as much money as they wish. But when that deadline passes, the door is shut to future Olympic and world competitions for good. Or so the ISU says for now. And regardless of what happens next, one thing's for sure, this is an issue that is not going away. Stay tuned. Next, Oksana Baiul, one of skating's most delightful ice stories. And look out, America, this 17-year-old's taking to the road.
Everybody teach me drive, but I drive so fast.
Oh, you do? You're a fast driver.
Peggy Fleming's Ice Stories is presented by Ultra Slim Fast.
She is one of the most delightful people you'd ever want to know. She's fresh, she's enthusiastic, driven by a contagious spirit. She is the youngest Olympic and world champion in nearly 70 years. She is Oksana Baiul, the 1994 Olympic gold medalist. Her story is well documented, but we're only just getting to know her really, as our candid conversation with Oksana reveals.
I hear that you've been learning to drive. Have you hit anything yet?
Yeah, in Simsbury when I live. Everybody, my coach, Galina, Nina, Victor's wife, Victor, Victor's brother, everybody teach me drive, but I drive so fast.
Oh, you do? You're a fast driver.
And everybody tell me, Oksana, please, don't drive fast. I say, okay, yeah.
Do you have a car of your own? Did you buy one?
No, I drive Galina's car, my coach, yeah.
Well, it takes a while to learn how to drive and learn all of our customs. Have you officially moved to the United States? I know that you're training in Connecticut now.
Yeah, I train in Connecticut, but it's so good ice rink, new ice rink open. And I have very good eyes and very good people who help me.
Do you feel like the United States is your home now?
One time, yes, and one time not, because my friends, I'm missing to my friends.
Do you write them a lot?
And write and call, how are you? And
I know that you have Jill Trenery is your idol, and you got to tour with her and get to know her personally. What was that like, being on tour with someone that you idolized?
I like Jill, and I like Jill skating. And when Jill skate, I go to ice and look, and it's so exciting for me. And my coach tell me, Oksana, look at Jill, because Jill skate, it's so good. It's so like woman skate. And so I go with Jill to party and to shopping, and very good friends.
I know that you and Victor Petrenko are very close and very special. Can you describe what Victor means to you?
I don't know, but when I skating, Victor said to me, oh, don't worry, your skate's good. Oh, it's okay. When I skate bad, but not bad, and I don't want to skate, Victor said to me, Oksana, you need to work hard. I said, okay, Victor, okay.
Your coach, Galina, always looks so stern and very focused at competitions. What do you do to bring her out and to make her laugh?
Galina? Good skating.
Good skating makes her laugh. Oh, good, and it makes her happy. Well, that's good. I know after you won the Olympics, you had many, many offers, and now you're making lots of money. And, you know, that's a big change from how you lived over in Odessa. We wanted to know what you spend your money on now.
For me, this question, it's not big interesting, because my money, it's not changed for me, not changed me. Just money, and that's all. But I like skate for my heart, for my people, for my coach. But money, it's not interesting for me.
But it's fun. I mean, you can buy things with it. What kinds of things do you buy?
I like buy perfumes.
Perfume?
And cosmetics.
And cosmetics. Well, that can buy a lot of cosmetics and perfume.
When I go to shop, and first I go to look at perfume, new perfumes, new cosmetics, and Galina, oh my God, you buy new perfumes? I say, yeah. What you do with perfume?
You know, by April 1st, you are required to decide whether you're going to reinstate to be able to be eligible to skate in the Olympic Games. What kind of decision are you going to make? Are you going to stay eligible, or are you going to go professional?
No, I very want to ride back to amateur competition. Very, very want, because it's so exciting for me.
So you're
Yeah.
aiming for the 1998
Yeah.
Olympics again?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. We want you to tell us an ice story of your favorite memory about skating or your most inspiring moment, a special time in your skating career. What would that be?
I don't know. It's a long story, but I try talk about this. When I childhood, I was so fat, so fat. And my grandfather told my mom, Marina, it's my mom, maybe you take Oksana and go to new ice rink. My mom, oh, no. My grandfather asked, why? I will be Oksana ballerina. I go with Oksana ballet house, and maybe Oksana in next time ballerina. I say, Mom, I want to go to ice rink, but I don't remember it. Mom told me. Mom, okay, Oksana. And my mom pick up me and go to ice rink and show to my coach. My coach look and, oh my God, what's this? It's little fat. My mom, please, can pick up this girl because she very wants skate. And I stayed and looked at my coach, okay. And I start practicing, and when I have first competition, it's not big, small competition, I'm top skaters, and my mom asked, Oksana, you want to go to ballet house? I said, no, Mom, I want skate. And so I'm skate now.
So you just kept continuing to skate. Are you ever worried about maybe burning out, getting tired of the hectic schedule that you always work on?
Not yet.
That's what I thought you'd say. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy. That's wonderful to see.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're on the practice rink at the Ice Castle with 14-year-old Michelle Kwan and the best ice story of all, the making of a star. Don't go away.
Handles it all so well. She's the classic example of success among today's new generation. Her story is about dedication, and this young 90s woman just might be headed for Olympic stardom. Already, she is a fascinating ice story. In 1993, she was the youngest female competitor at nationals anyone could remember. And in 1994, Michelle rose to second place at age 13, becoming one of the most celebrated Olympic alternates ever. What was your experience like going to Lillehammer? Because you were the alternate.
It was a cold experience. It was freezing when we get out the door.
It was really cool, right?
It was nice, but I wanted to go like in the arena when the practices was going on. And I didn't have a credential, so I couldn't go in.
Oh, you weren't even allowed to go in and watch practices?
So that I was like, oh, really?
Oh.
So I only got to see all the skating, which was like the competition, which was kind of nice.
What kind of feeling did you have leaving Lillehammer?
I was sad that I was gonna leave because I was saying like, oh, the Olympics are over, you know, and I'm like, oh, I have to wait another 4 years, you know, to see another Olympics. And so I was like, kind of, I left with a good memory and stuff, so that's all that counts.
There appear to be very few limits to this youngster's potential. She jumps and spins with a confidence some skaters never achieve, and her maturity as a performer is already beginning to come through. She's not old enough to get a driver's license yet, but Michelle Kwan is navigating the road to success quite well without one.
Well, I think you need a lot of talent to skate and a lot of hard work. So it's not only talent that makes you go up high into what, like the world class and Olympic class. I think it's also hard work.
Some coaches wait a lifetime for a child star, for the skater who always leaves her admirers using the word potential. Frank Carroll's wait is over. Now, what did you think the first time that you saw her skate?
Well, I had a friend from Los Angeles who was a skating teacher and told me to watch this little girl, that she was remarkable. And when I did, I thought, wow, you know, this kid has incredible spring and talent, and she could really be somebody.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you were right. Now, what kind of skater do you
envision Michelle becoming?
Well, I think she's going to be someone who is interpretive of many different styles. Last year I did sort of a generic routine, which was very simple, really. The formula was simple. It was changes of pace and try to look as mature as we could. This year we did a very classical look and tried to go more into the ballet vein of style. So I'm trying to give her versatility.
Michelle Kwan is everything a coach could want. In fact, she might be more. How do you envision yourself becoming as a skater?
Well, you look at different skaters and you learn from each skater that you watch, and you see it like they're dramatic, like how dramatic Brian Watanabe is, and it just takes your breath away. And like the triple axel of Midori and Tanya, it's just like there, you know. I would like to have difficulty jumps and have, like, I don't know, a lot of style and have fun out there when the crowd's rooting for you.
Michelle is an amazing athlete, well on her way to great success. And if she reaches the heights of our next Ice Story profile, she'll be in fine company.
Coming up, the hardest working man on the ice scene today, the ultimate crowd pleaser, Scott Hamilton. This Peggy Fleming Gold Medal memory is presented by your local True Value.
I think when I won the gold medal in '68, I reflected back on my career of how I got there and, you know, the role models that weren't there for me. The television coverage of skating was not there to try to emulate a style of anyone. So I kind of had to make up my own rules and make up my own vision of the kind of skater I wanted to be. The athletic ability that I naturally had just being a tomboy growing up, and my love of music and dance. I just put all that together and, you know, came up with the style that I did.
Dashing, beautiful, comely, in short piece, Peggy Fleming, coming into your homes live and in color via the satellite.
Winning the gold medal in '68 in Grenoble, I think didn't really hit me. I won, and I always have been able to put my success in skating in perspective of my life. But I think it really hit me that I did something really, really special when I was on the cover of Life magazine. And the cover came out, like, I think the day after or so that I won, and I was just thrilled to be on that cover. And that's when I knew, gosh, I really did that.
Peggy Fleming's Ice Stories will continue in a moment. Fleming's Ice Stories is presented by Molly McButter.
Scott Hamilton has been going strong since 1978, when he won his first senior national medal, followed by a national title 3 years later, and Olympic gold in 1984. Remarkably, he is more popular today than ever before. Scott, I think everyone agrees that the Scott Hamilton today is better than ever. You know, how do you do it? How do you still, you know, have that longevity in doing your skills and your popularity? It's just right on.
Can we just stop this now? This
How do you
is
do
great.
it?
I can't respond to that. I mean,
You can't.
No, it's smoke mirrors and I think mass hypnosis. I don't really know. It's been, this year's turning out so far to be a pretty good year. I mean, I have no complaints. I've won a competition this year, and I've been skating pretty well everywhere, and I got to find some wood in a big hurry. Not
There's some in this couch, maybe.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, so far it's been a good year. It's been a weird year with all the events and all the wackiness with pro competitions and all these made-up TV events. It's just been hard to say no to any of them, and so it turns into a scheduling nightmare.
Yeah, it's a lot. You know, after you won the Olympics in '84, you've kept up this schedule really since then with competitions and performances and charity work and all those things. Out of all of that, what do you enjoy the most in your career?
I always said as an amateur, the best thing about skating was the 10 minutes after you win. It's the greatest feeling in the world. But as a pro, you don't get that very often. You just kind of go out and skate, but when everything's lined up and everything's good and you're landing your jumps and you're skating well, that's the best feeling in the world. And my career has been, you know, it's had its ups and downs, and there's been some really devastating times and some performances that I'm not particularly proud of, but all in all, I have to say that it's been pretty wonderful, and the work that I put into it, I've realized and I've seen on the ice. So you get what you play for. You know, what goes around comes around. All these things that you hear are pretty true. If you put your time in, you'll be rewarded.
How many more years do you think you can keep all of this up and keep up the performing schedule?
Well, I'm 36 now. I don't really want to go out if I can't do triple Lutz anymore. I really don't want to go out if people are applauding more when I'm introduced than when I'm finished.
Yeah.
I don't want any of those
that
things.
when that happens.
It's so far I've been able to develop an audience, I think, and I've really, I look at people like Bruce Springsteen and other entertainers that have really tried to give more to an audience than they expect, and then you can develop an audience that way. People will come back. Instead of every 3 or 4 years, they'll come back every other year, or some every year. So I've tried to do that, and the tour is really caught on, and we've got a great cast, and more people are coming out each year, and it's pretty exciting. So I'll continue at least another one after this one, and then we'll take it from there year by year.
Are you thinking about marriage in the future?
Everybody keeps asking me about that, and we discuss it all the time, but nothing formal.
Nothing formal.
I've got an absolutely wonderful girlfriend, and we've been together 7 years, and I don't discuss her very often because she gets embarrassed. It's like, that's private. Sorry, Karen. That's something that's not really discussed very much, and again, it's been wonderful and terrific and practically perfect. How am I doing? Do I have to buy an expensive birthday present this year?
Well, that's nice. Yeah. With all of the distractions that figure skaters have today, with the schedules of competitions and performances here and there, do you think that that has had an impact on their training?
Oh, yeah. I think it's had a big impact, but they don't have compulsory figures to worry about anymore. So you've got 4 hours of your day are fine, and you can still train free skating on the road. So it's not as devastating as a lot of people think it is. If you're on, let's say, the World Champions Tour, you do one number a night, opening and closing. You got an hour of practice. You can bring your choreographer, your coach, your physical therapist, whatever you need in to keep your training on the road. Plus, you're not skating every single night. So, yeah, I mean, you can stay in shape on the road more than ever before. If you're doing a traditional show like an Ice Capades, forget it. You're doing 12 shows a week or 10 shows a week, or I think it's changed now. It might be down to 8 shows a week.
There's no time.
There's no time. You're traveling. You're in a city that they're setting up, they're tearing down. It's really hard to keep your skating up to the highest level.
You build a lot of character, though.
Absolutely. No, it's true. What I learned in those shows is priceless. I learned how to perform in the traditional ice show.
You learn how to pace yourself. You learn how to push yourself. You know your limits of your physical body. And that's a good lesson.
But it's a wonderful lesson, and again, there's a development there that you can't get anywhere else. Right. But it's physically devastating. If you want to keep that schedule up and then compete at the end of that touring year, forget it. All you're looking for is a beach.
Yeah, right.
It's really hard.
Just rings
so
you out.
I think the tours have changed now, and I think it allows skaters to be at a more peak level when they need to be at competition and still keep up with their show commitments.
If you had all day to yourself and you didn't have skating to deal with, or the phone's ringing, what would you do?
It would be a Sunday. It would definitely be a Sunday. First thing I do is I get up and I make a really good, strong pot of coffee. Then I go to the golf course, hit about an hour of balls, play 18 holes, break 80, come back, watch football the rest of the afternoon, and then barbecue on the back deck, and then take a jacuzzi about 11 o'clock at night, and then call it a day. That'd be the perfect day.
That's your perfect day.
That'd be a perfect one. That's the one that jumps out right now because I know it's not going to be for about 7 months before I get to have one of those.
Scott is a household word, known universally to skating fans. But while Scott enjoys such enormous celebrity, other great skaters unfortunately cannot claim the same. They are the unsung heroes in skating, the pairs and ice dancers. Despite their remarkable skills, these skating duos sometimes lack the name recognition enjoyed by single skaters. Perhaps it's that American TV audiences have difficulty with Russian names that dominate the sport. Names that don't roll off the tongue like Button, Boitano, or Vit. Instead, the names are Mishkatunik and Dmitriev, Gordieva and Grinkov, Klimova and Ponomarenko. Though the Russian dance couples have won a majority of the world and Olympic titles, only the most avid fan can recite the list of winners. A notable exception to this Russian dominance was Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean. The couple from Great Britain drew global attention with a unique style. Yet some would argue that many of the great Russian dance couples have had equal impact on the sport. So what made Torvill and Dean click with the public?
Well, Chris and Jane really pioneered dance into a new direction by performing their bolero free dance in the 1984 Olympics, which we both watched on television many years ago. And I think it made such, well, I know it made such an impact because it was different than anything that anybody had done up to that point. The movement was very free and open and not less traditional, and it evolved and took a new movement. And I think that opened the passageway for all skaters to search out new ways to move instead of the standard, very stiff, upright just strictly ballroom. And they really helped give everybody the confidence in that sort of direction.
Their spotlight may not be as bright, but pairs and dance will always be a part of skating's worldwide popularity. In fact, some of the greatest single skaters have often started their careers with a partner. Olympic singles champion Kristi Yamaguchi won 2 national titles as a pair skater. If she were to try to qualify for the Olympics again someday, Yamaguchi says she'd only consider it as one half of a pairs team. Amid the tension of competing, I can assure you almost every single skater would love to have a partner. Now, when we come back, you'll hear some surprising comments from Kristi Yamaguchi, Paul Wylie, and others from their most memorable ice stories. A skater's best times often take place in settings like this, off the ice. It's a chance to just talk. There's great camaraderie in figure skating, so many great memories and stories. Let's hear from the skaters, and you'll see what I mean.
My favorite call of all time is Paul Wylie's long program at the Albertville Olympics, because he's been a friend. I've known him since he was, like 9 or 8 years old. And, he's just this little kid bopping around the rink. And then to be the guy on the headset calling what could have been, a gold medal performance, but definitely silver, it was the most emotional and most rewarding and most exciting thing I've ever had.
Paul has got to skate the rest of the program clean to have any shot. Great footwork here, and a triple toe loop. Nicely done. And his last jump, a double axel. Definitely impact Paul Wylie in the most positive way.
As I exited the ice, he came down and he gave me a big hug. He's like, I can't believe you did it, and it was just, it gives me chills just thinking about it. I think that's the great thing about skating, is that you can actually share a performance, especially in the Olympics, with not only the audience, the people that are at home, but the people that are experiencing it along with you. And definitely Scott Hamilton is someone who knew the twists and turns of my career maybe better than anyone.
Even now, I think, Dorothy Hamill just, for me, stands up there. The first time I met her, maybe it was about 15 or 16, and I think I could barely speak. And, of course, got her autograph on a picture, and I still have that in my bedroom at home, and she's a big reason why I pursued figure skating, and had always been my idol growing up. And I think I was thrilled and excited that here was one of my idols, and she was there to wish me good luck and hoping things go well. So I was like, wow. never thinking at that moment that perhaps I would follow her in her footsteps.
Kurt Browning has the character and the spark. I remember one of the most memorable times was in a competition, but it was on practice in Munich. In the practice rink, we were doing the quad off. He'd do a quad, I'd do a quad. I did the quad combination, he did a quad combination. So we'd go back and forth doing quads to outdo each other, and by the end we had the best time, we had the most fun, and the competition seemed relaxed, and that was the most memorable part of all the years that I competed against him.
When I get home, the first thing I do is take out the vacuum cleaner, because all of a sudden I regain my territory in the house. Everything gets vacuumed. Dirt devils, dust busters, we've got them all out. And I don't look like a performer at that point. Got my headband on, now I'm ready for war with the house. So it's funny how those things, you know. I remember once on tour I was with Rosalind Sumner's, and she was having a day where she was really homesick. And I said, I know how you feel. Don't you just want to go home and clean out your refrigerator? And she looked at me and she says, yeah, vegetable bin, I just want to clean it. Like all those things you can't do when you're away, they become really important.
Fleming's Ice Stories has been presented by Molly McButter. Real butter taste, fat-free, and only 5 calories. Your local True Value. Help is just around the corner. Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight. And by Kellogg's. With good taste, nutrition, and value. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's.
I've had so many wonderful ice stories over the years, and one person who has made many of them happen is sitting right next to me, my coach, Carla Fassi. And we've shared many, many stories together, and I'm sure that you have lots of them in your memory. What one stands out the most?
Well, I think so. The one in the first national, we were in Berkeley. I waited about a couple of hours. Your mother took you out for some shot, I don't know where, and we were running late. And she said, let's have a bite. So we run out with the car, and we go down to Berkeley, some boulevard, and suddenly she goes in and wants macaroni and cheese. And I said, why macaroni and cheese? Why don't we eat anything? She said, no, she had to eat macaroni and cheese. So the first restaurant didn't have it. So we went through about 6 or 7 restaurants. Nobody has this damn macaroni and cheese, which absolutely we had to have it before the competition. So finally we find that one that a can. I know, take out the can, and you eat this very quickly, this macaroni and cheese before. But your mother was right, because you skated very well that night. Even if you were late to get to the rink and everything was rushed, you skated wonderful. So macaroni and cheese did something.
And that has proven in athletes today that that is quick energy, it's easy to digest. My mother was on the cutting edge of nutrition for athletics.
She
didn't know that.
She didn't know that, but she knew that macaroni and cheese will make you skate better.
Yeah, she had a lot of common sense, and I think my parents just really went on that, and they instilled some real basic qualities. I think
remember,
that carry
yes,
on.
your father drove the Zamboni at the Broadmoor World Arena, and it was a wonderful time, really.
It was. Thanks to your help.
Thank you. And to you.
Those were real special years. That was the year, I was meeting my husband, Greg, and we've been married almost 25 years now, and that was a very special time in my life.
Skating down at the Colorado College at 20 below zero was terrible at night, but your mother decided that was the right practice for Davos, so we had to skate outside on the cold, but it was good, really. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, it was. It was great.